Hey everyone, Marcello here from GameCube Galaxy, and today I'm really excited to share with you guys that I have in my hand a brand new Nintendo 64 and brand new GameCube game that just released this year. So that's right, the year 2023, and we are getting a brand new release for both the 64 and the GameCube. That game being XenoCrisis by Bitmap Bureau. Let's unbox these, quickly see what the contents are inside, how they look packaging wise, and we're going to dive quickly into gameplay comparisons between both the 64 and GameCube versions to see how they run and look, and heck, we'll even look at the Switch version to see how it stacks up against that. So looking at the N64 box first, you can see that it really does a great job of emulating the exact look of an N64 box with the green, blue, red, and yellow siding. As well as the red siding on the front cover, except instead of having the N64 logo, it says Bitmap Bureau. But I do like that it shows that it's compatible with the Rumble Pack and Controller Pack, or that it's 1 to 2 players simultaneous. Again, all this does give it a nice official look, more or less. Looking at the back, it does a great job of feeling like an N64 box with that yellow backing, as well as all the verbiage on the left-hand side and screenshots shown on the right-hand side. Again, really, really well done. As you can also see, the cartridge looks very high quality. At this point, the cartridge looks very official. The main thing is the back looks like it has a custom label where it has Bitmap Bureau on there. And then there's the manual. The manual is by far just spot on. Again, it does a great job of emulating the feel of getting an N64 game all these years later. So kudos to Bitmap Bureau for really making this feel like a quality release. As for the GameCube version is nice. I do have a few critiques with the GameCube version, mostly that the spine is just a white background with the basic font for XenoCrisis. I feel like here they could have easily just used the actual logo itself and easily could have just had some different color in the background. This looks kind of just generic to me. The back of the case, however, looks really cool. It does a great job of showing the same screenshots as the N64 version, as well as the verbiage on the left-hand side, showing the 1 to 2 players, memory card use. This looks really, really nice. And then the front, like I said, the front looks great. It's, instead of the GameCube logo on the top, it has the just Bitmap Bureau logo, which is fine. I'm totally for that. But yeah, overall, I like the way this looks. As far as inside the case, since this is the North American release, they did a fantastic job of getting a case that emulates the look and feel of the original GameCube cases that were here in North America. This fits perfectly, the book fits just right. Yeah, they did a great job with this. This is really, really awesome. I'm really impressed. So, XenoCrisis is a game that released in 2019 on the Switch, the PS4, Xbox One, and Sega Genesis, and it would continue to receive ports throughout the years, such as the Evercade, Neo Geo, Sega Dreamcast, and now the Nintendo 64 and GameCube. If you haven't played or heard of XenoCrisis, it's an arcade-style twin-stick shooter very much akin to Smash TV or Robotron. You choose one of 2 characters to play as, each with their own attributes, and go room to room, destroying every alien that busts in. The game randomly generates the path and rooms you will tackle in each playthrough, always ensuring a fresh experience, and it works incredibly well here. Controlling the characters is simple, and you can use either the C stick to fire in 8 directions, or the face buttons on the controller itself. If playing on the Nintendo 64, the C buttons will be your primary way to fire since there's no second analog stick on there. You can also hit the right trigger to evade enemies, and this is essential for survival. Luckily, the characters can take more than a single hit to go down, but be warned, this game is not easy. Even though there are 2 difficulty settings, easy and hard, using even a single continue will result in not getting the game's good and or best ending. Throughout the game's 7 stages, you will blast away aliens and other creatures with your machine gun, but can also pick up additional weapons that appear in rooms. The additional weapons have unlimited ammo, but come at the trade-off of only being able to use them for 20 seconds. The default machine gun has limited ammo, but the game spawns more ammo for you to pick up when you're down to your last rounds. It adds a layer of intensity when trying to grab ammo as enemies swarm you. If in a pinch, you can also lob grenades to clear some distance and dish out serious damage. Additionally, the game does support 2-player co-op, and it's the perfect type of game to bring a friend into the action. Now, if you want to play this game on the Nintendo 64, well, you just simply put the cartridge into the console and off you go. However, if you want to play this on your GameCube, You will need a GameCube that reads any discs or have a GC loader or any other modding method that runs Swiss. You will need to insert the disc into a PC and then copy the DOL file to an SD card to run the game off of on the modded GameCube. Also, it is worth noting that you cannot grab the DOL file from a Mac, as for some odd reason, it won't detect any files from the disc using that OS. It may sound a bit complicated to just play this on the GameCube, but it's not too bad if you're well versed on this side of things. I originally played XenoCrisis on the Switch, and I love this game on there. So, how does the GameCube version and N64 version stack in comparison? To be blunt, the GameCube version has become my favorite version to play for this game. The Sublime controller and its etched grooves around both the analog stick and C-stick provide for so much accuracy that it feels naturally designed for this game. If anything, I found this version the easiest because of this, but I'll say this loosely as it's still a hard game. The N64 version looks and plays fine too. The one thing I will say about the N64 controller is that if I used the analog stick followed by the C buttons, I felt like this combination had me playing far worse. But instead, when I moved my thumb over to the D-pad and played using the D-pad and the C buttons to fire, I have to say, at that point, I was playing extremely well, and that definitely was my preferred playstyle for the N64. And again, it kind of emulated the feeling of something like Super Smash TV on the SNES. Here, let me showcase some of the visual and audio comparison here for you guys to see between the Switch version, N64 version, and GameCube version. So, what do you guys think? Notice any differences, or does it look pretty much the same? Now, I will note, I'm noticing that between the GameCube version and the N64 version, the GameCube version's audio seems a little bit lower, especially with the music, versus the N64 version, which seems a little bit more amped up. I will say, if you haven't played XenoCrisis before, I cannot recommend this game enough. The gameplay is super tight, it's addictive to keep returning to, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. As for which version to nab, I will say, if you have a modded GameCube, this is my preferred version of them all. If you don't have a modded GameCube though, then I'd say look into the version available on modern platforms like the Switch, the PS4, or the Xbox. If you're an N64 enthusiast though, it is pretty awesome getting to play this on there, and just being able to pop in a new N64 game into the console is a wild feeling in 2023. Overall, I love that Bitmap Bureau keeps porting this to retro consoles and is continuing to do so with the upcoming SNES version. So, have you heard of or played XenoCrisis before? If not, are you interested in it now? Sound off in the comments below, as I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd also like to quickly thank Bitmap Bureau for providing me the GameCube and N64 copies to cover here. If you're interested in picking up XenoCrisis for one of the platforms, I'll leave a link in the description down below, as well as in the card up above. Definitely go check out their stuff. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next video.